Let's go live to me. Hey, and welcome to Hangar Ready. I'm JC, and with me tonight are my co-hosts Jolly and Turing. And then also we have with us tonight Waterdrop, who is there live in the ADI booth at CitizenCon. So Water, I know you got to run because your cell phone is almost dead. And that we may get you back on your laptop here in a minute, depending on Wi-Fi. But tell us, what did you think of the con today?
Yeah, hey Turn, hey Jolly, and hey Jay. It's been fantastic. It's been a blast. And I gotta say, I think CIG knocked it out of the park for me at least. Maybe I'm influenced by being here on location, but man, that was some fantastic content today. I'm very impressed.
Yeah, it was a big day. So, what was the biggest thing for you today, in your opinion?
Oh my boy, I think I gotta show you guys because we're actually in the ADI booth right now, and I'm not sure if you can see this, but can you guys see this?
Yeah, we can see them.
We see it, yeah.
Hey guys.
Hey
Here,
guys, it's all hazy in here because they have have some sort of smoke
smoke
machines or
machine.
something.
Yeah.
But these guys are probably the biggest thing for me this whole weekend, I must say. It's been a blast. We had all kinds of fun yesterday and also today, but yeah, so we've been working hard to get the booth up, and I'm sure you guys have heard about that a lot. So it's been fantastic.
It has. It's been great.
Very
So
professional.
it looks wonderful too.
Yeah, so
So
but I mean, I don't know. In terms of the content that CIG put up here, I mean, there's so many things to talk about. The economic model, that's oh my god, it's like this vision they've talked about so many years. That must be so gratifying for CIG and Tony Sertovich, with all this mad scientist stuff, like seeing that actually seeming to come to life, and not just like in the concept, but actually seeing the tools that are coming into place to actually realize this fantastic dream. I think that was amazing, and of course, who can't? How can we forget the jump point at the end? That was fantastic. That was
oh my God, the jump
my
point. I
expectations.
mean,
I don't know. What do you
yeah,
guys think?
it was the jump point was just amazing. Turing and I were just flabbergasted sitting there watching it, weren't we, Turing?
Yes.
It was mind blowing.
So from my perspective, you just couldn't ask for a better finale to CitizenCon 2019. It's going to make next year's. So excited to go next year in LA. So I know you're real close on battery, aren't you? There, Water. How
I
much
got
battery do you have?
6%, Jay. So just
Six
go. Let's
percent.
just
So
go until we hit the ground.
until it goes dead, then you'll plug it up to your laptop. Okay.
Right until we tumble into the ground.
If you could do me a favor and find Shapcap, we'd add him in. Maybe he has more cell phone than you do.
Absolutely. So let's
But
see if I
if
can
not,
find him here. We got C here.
oh wow, yeah. Introduce us to some of the guys that are there live at.
Right. Hi, Chef Cap. You're live.
Hi.
I got him here.
You know I can't hear, right?
Hello, Shap. He can't hear.
He's borrowing an earpiece. Here.
Yeah.
Oh wow, are you guys going steady?
Jay, I don't see Jay.
I think so. Yeah, we have hopes.
Yeah.
Hey, Shap, how are you enjoying CitizenCon 2019?
Hey, Jay. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. We're having a really good time, meeting a lot of really cool people. Saw a lot of really neat things. Everything last year was like pales in comparison to this year. 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, the pictures just don't do it justice. Honestly.
Well, that's great. You're going to be bringing us back a bunch of pictures to show off, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay. Well, I know that the Waterdrop's battery is almost dead. Jolly, anything you want to ask them while they're there on site, Shapcap and Waterdrop?
I had a good chance to see your booth there, a shop that you guys put together, and your lights came through fantastic. I saw you found the open sign you were looking for, so everything looked like it was out of the Grand Bazaar. You hit it right, perfect.
Yeah, I can't wait for the CIG took a bunch of professional pictures. I can't wait to see those because the iPhones are great, but the real camera really likes it. So
middle note next year, take a DSLR.
The whole market thing they built here, it's amazing. Like you really feel the community. I feel as if let me know what you think, but
no, I agree.
They have
100%.
enough of different community representatives, different orgs. With Dama Rally and all kinds of different things. They also have all the food courts in here, so it really feels like a community. It doesn't feel like some sort of an expo What would you say?
Yeah, no, it feels like you've literally walked into the Grand Barter on Levski. I mean, between the lighting, the cloth everywhere, the different orgs all over the place, the food, all the little tidbits they put on the wall, everything. It really feels like you just walked right in. And it's amazing. It really is.
Well, yes,
Yeah.
I agree completely.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Yep.
you know, without a doubt, and of course they had to do their piratey sneaky mission tonight for the finale. And I tell you what, that snow effect was just so realistic, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, all the special effects are amazing, and Planetary Tech 4.0. We didn't even mention that yet. That looked insane.
Yeah.
That looked insane. And the new game mode, crazy.
Yep. Yeah, I was very impressed.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a lot of work cut out for us, boss, on the
Yeah.
operations side.
Oh yeah, the operations are going to be absolutely batshit crazy. Pardon my French. So I'm in complete agreement on that. So Shapcap and Waterdrop. Anything you want to add before the battery goes dead from there in Manchester, UK?
No, I mean, not for me. I'm glad we finally got to talk to you guys. It's like what, 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock your time?
It's 4 o'clock Central. Yeah, 4 o'clock.
Yeah. No, I'm glad we finally got to catch up. It's been a busy day.
Yeah, very busy day.
Fantastic event. This it really feels like community, and I think what's happening for me is CitizenCon is coming. You know, it's transitioning from being something where CIG presents the state of the game to something that's co-created by also everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that's really cool, and it's just going to make CitizenCon such a even bigger event in the future for me, at least.
So Jay, could I ask him one quick question?
Go ahead, Turing.
So Shap, do you think since the community is growing so much and what's happening in this CitizenCon, are they going to look? Do you think CIG is going to look to probably bring that community type experience and dynamic into the game itself at some point, perhaps?
Absolutely. They love it. They absolutely love it. So yeah, 100%. I don't know how, but I'm sure it'll be there somehow. We can talk about that at another show, but
we'll do a recap show.
Like yeah, absolutely. We'll do a recap for sure.
With you guys once you guys get back home and we're not having to stare at you as you're trying to go cheek to cheek there on the cell phone.
Yeah.
Middle note, selfie sticks next year. Selfie sticks.
Yeah.
We'll see. Maybe we can get a laptop up here and join the show a little bit later. But
yeah, definitely message me on Discord if you can get the laptop up and we can get you back on.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Well, you guys take it easy. Before his phone goes dead, goodbye. Thank you very much for all you did down there, and thank you for going live with us on Hangar Ready.
Sure, Jay. Talk to you later.
Good job, guys.
We can get the laptop.
Okay. Sam, can we go ahead and... I think we lost them. Good. Okay. Wow, that was a little nuts, but that's the first time we've ever done a remote like that, and it was pretty kick butt. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's good to talk to both those guys. And to see the others around there, too.
Yeah, it looked like they were having a great time.
It was. And we've had a good time today, I think. Don't you guys?
I got up at 6 a.m. to start this.
Yeah, me too. I was only about 15 minutes behind you.
5 o'clock. So
I cheated a little bit. When it got to the
no. Here's the reality. I get on there. I'm waiting for let's go on. I finally get a note from Jay. Oh, I'll be on in a sec. But he disappeared for a while.
Well, in all fairness, I was up before I messaged you, but I was handling my morning constitutional. No, I
rolled over in bed and messaged you.
No, I did not. I was up. I had taken a shower and was handling my morning constitutional. That. I know it's too much information, but it's a lot better than I slept in. I got up at 6:30 my time, which would have been a half hour before the stuff, and it just took me a little. I'm not used to getting up on Saturdays that early, and let's just say that the shower took a little longer than normal.
Yeah, probably neither two retirees either. So
yeah, that's right. 11 a.m. is norm.
So 11 a.m. Next year it's going to be in LA, and we'll probably all be there, or a large chunk of us at least. So and it'll be at a regular hour. It won't be at 6 in the morning. So let's talk about that final presentation. And I think Sam is going to queue up. Sam, let's go to the producer cam really quick and let Sam and Jaglin wave hi. They've been doing a lot of work today getting this ready to go for us. And so Sam is going to, as we run through this, pull up some stuff and throw it up on a video computer for us. And Sam, you've got that muted, correct? Sam is nodding his head yes instead of talking to the people, but that's okay. So the big things, let's go down through the roadmap real quick. 3.8, and the big thing that we wanted, you can go ahead and play that, Sam, if you want. Oh crap, I didn't realize that I had Turing in that picture.
Let's hope I didn't pick my nose while you were.
Well, if you did, you're on there now, Turing. That Turing picture is old. Just ignore it. I was being stupid when I was recording these videos. But that's all on me, not on anybody else. Okay, so server-side object container streaming is coming in 3.8, which is dropping here soon, TM, right?
Yes.
Yes.
This is the big thing we've been waiting for. We've been stuck at 50-person servers for a year now, right? Year and a half?
More than that, yeah.
And so, object container streaming probably will allow us to see a slight increase. Maybe we can get to 75, maybe to 100 players per server.
But Jay, I don't know if it really is dealing with the number of people per server as much as ensuring that you have the persistence that you need for the various objects that are in the server that you're on. Well, I thought the server meshing was what was going to bring together the increase of number of people. But maybe I missed that during the presentation.
Well, it's both. So we should see a gigantic leap with server meshing. The OCS, the object container streaming, right now, a server has to keep track of everything. Even if people aren't there, it's got to keep track of it. And so if 50 people are at Port Alisar, it's still got to keep track of where the AI is moving around at Hurston, right? With object container streaming, if nobody's at Hurston, then that load isn't on that server. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so it should allow them a modest increase of 20, 25, maybe 50 more players. Knock on wood. I mean, until they get there and start testing it, but it should increase the server count a little bit. Meshing is going to allow them to increase the server count astronomically because, they'll be able to mesh different zones together and you'll be able to have thousands of players on a single server once they get all the kinks worked out. The other big thing that I saw, and this has impacted us a lot, is social/group play. There is currently this awful bug called the quantum linking party bug that has been killing us. And we're hoping that gets fixed in 3.8. That's going to drop soon. And then Jolly, there's one more item that they talked about there. Why don't you take that one?
Which one is that? You're talking about
the multi-part missions?
Yeah. You notice, by the way, the payoff for that multi-part mission, 100,000 credits. That's obviously the largest city has ever seen so far. Yeah. I like the idea. Now, one thing I will say, it becomes a puzzle game based solely upon the one mission we saw. I'm sure the devs had an opportunity to run through it saying, well, look for this particular great remove and move aside and get going. So for a segment of the players at Star Citizen are going to enjoy it immensely, but I would say there are others who are going to get a little frustrated at the puzzle game that's being presented to them. So it's a hit and miss, in my opinion.
Well, or the complexity of the puzzle game that's being presented. If you could do it in building blocks with smaller increments, it might not come as a shock. But to throw somebody or a group into this complex right off the bat, I don't know. I mean, that's a lot.
I know as I was watching it, there was a period of time where the player, Glenn's sitting there getting ready to move ahead, and you hear people in the background, hold on. And then all of a sudden you see a shadow pass by. It's like, yeah, if he had gone early, he would have been caught. So there was a lot of cheek went ahead on getting through that mission itself.
Yeah, you wonder how many times you're going to have to run through it and get killed and want to have to come back and do it all over again.
Right.
And I know I've heard Chris Roberts say in the past, at least in relation to Squadron 42, you got to complete it to the end for it to save. There's no incremental save points along the way.
Right.
So if you blow it, now I got to go back to Microtech. I got to get on the AI shuttle. I got to go back over to the site. So
and worse
great,
than that,
but
if the game's live and I blow it and my character dies, and we've all heard about death of the spaceman, I got to go through that whole iteration again. So, or prison time, whatever the case may be. So some of these missions, you can make them challenging to the point of, in a persistent universe game, I'm not so sure people are going to take them.
Yeah, and Jay and I were just joking when we were watching it. We're saying, how many organizations are just going to bum rush it and take it?
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
why do I
that's
need to go
exactly
through
what.
all that
Send
stuff?
40
But,
in, let's do it.
Yeah, just send a whole platoon of guys in and just take the building. I mean, there would be no
way out in the end.
Yeah, instead of having to run by people and fight people, just get it ready to go.
But as a gameplay dynamic and a new way of improving the group play and scenario-based gameplay, I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, I agree.
And guys, we are monitoring chat, so if you guys have any questions while we're doing this, feel free to ask them, and I should notice them and get up. One quick thing before we move on to the next thing. It looks like Waterdrop and Chap are back on their laptop. So, Sam, could you add Waterdrop back in? I'm sorry, we'll keep talking here while we get them back. I apologize. Here we come. We're getting them added. Just Matt. They've just got one laptop. Yeah. There we go. We got them back.
Hello, guys.
Hey, how are you doing?
Not bad.
Good. Hold on one second. We're getting you up on video. 2 seconds. There he is. We got you.
There he is.
Yeah, there we go. Sorry about that. So how are you guys doing? You got your laptop set up?
Yeah, we got some pizza here. It's been a long day. People just need something to eat. So,
Yeah, I understand completely. So how have you guys? You guys finally? It's been a long 2 days for you two, for all you guys,
It
right?
has, Jay. It has. I mean, we got started early yesterday. I think most people flew in yesterday. And yeah, Bar Citizen last night, starting with the dinner. And it's been a blast, just kind of hanging out with people you kind of talked to a long time and meeting them, shooting the S. And yeah, I think some of us stayed up pretty late last night in the bar.
A little too late.
Rocking the story till closing time. So yeah.
Water, is there another event going on tonight for you guys?
That's a good question. Honestly, I'm not sure exactly if there's an organized Bar Citizen tonight or if it's just going to be, wherever. Honestly, Manchester is just full of
Ad hoc.
Yes, there's one or two.
Yeah, there's one or two.
Yeah, they're
So
saying there's a few
there's
bars.
plenty of bars, so I'm sure we're going to find something fun to do for the last night here.
Great. Well, we really appreciate you guys running the booth down there and getting us all the inside information from today. So, other than that, how's it going? You guys see anybody that you know from Austin or LA there from CIG?
Yeah. Let's see, Chap, see if he's going to try to get on the call as well. Well, we had some visitors here. I mean, CitizenCon, I can't really imagine what it's like to be working on this project. It's got to be a nightmare and a dream at the same time, in many ways. We've had some CIG personnel come by because, for them, the more community, the more things that are co-created by people outside of the office, I assume, it's inspirational. So we had, for example, 2 art directors come by, one lead art director for the PU and also an art director for the props team, who came by and checked out some of the goods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna come by. We're gonna give him some later.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, you want to show us one of those, Shopcap?
Yeah. Can we show the screen some of the merchandise that we have?
Yeah.
Yeah. If I can find.
You want to switch to these speakers?
So.
Oh, you're a little loud now. Oh wow, that's really loud.
Are we too loud?
Yeah, you might need to go back to a headset there. I apologize.
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
We're back to the headset.
There you go.
Yeah, just too much background noise. Skype couldn't keep up.
Yeah, it is what it is. We're just gonna adapt on the fly. Plan it better next year. All right, so here's an example of what we had. I'm sure the camera can see this. This is yeah. So Shopcat made one of these, and of course the PO art director thought this was pretty cool.
Well, could you blame him? That's amazing looking.
Yeah.
There's also an oxypen. So this,
wow.
It really has even like the tip, and I'm not sure if you can see this little overarching thing there. Really cool. And this was the favorite because it was the Shubin Interstellar Flare. You
Oh
like
wow!
The mining flare, yeah.
Yeah, the one that only lasts like 5 minutes.
The quick flare, yeah.
Yeah, and this was the clear favorite of the art directors. They were like, "Oh my god!" And they were talking because they had so much conversation of getting this little beast into the game because it emits light, and that screwed everything up apparently. But they had to fix that. Yep. And probably the fan favorite from all the backers is this. We had the turtle.
The turtle.
The turtle. Wow.
It's the most popular.
All that was missing was the black bucket that you pick it up out of.
Yeah, so we had a little stuff like that. And what else did we have, Chef?
You got the signs?
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, you got it. You got it.
Okay. So we also had some of this kind of fun stuff. We had some people who helped us take pictures of what you can find in the PU.
Yep.
Hey, Water's Jolly, real quick. One of the things that Shap made for this, which was very subtle, people used to see the signs and stuff, but the lanterns he made that hang around the barter, those weren't well known, but he showed it to me. I didn't recognize it, so I went to the game and looked for them down at the barter, and there they were. So if you have one of those, may all be hanging on you, so you can't be able to pull it down.
Yeah, it's just perfect, one of those backdrop things. You recognize it when you see it as something that's part of the game, but can't really place it. So, yeah, really fun.
So, any of our viewers have any questions for the folks in Manchester, real quick? We'll give you about 30 seconds or so to ask them as we finish up. And then I think we're going to let them go and get some beer and have a much needed rest. And I know Kai, we've had comments in here about, they want you to show the Replace Me ball if you can.
Oh, the Replace Me ball. Do we have that?
It's hanging.
I can show you another thing while they're taking it down. Here's another turtle we had, and it has a bit of a sticky note to it. I'm not sure if you can see it. It has Xi'an language on it.
Wow.
One of the booths here is a language booth that is all about Xi'an language. And I can't remember his name now, but the person who built the whole Xi'an language, he was hanging out in that booth, and the person who was running the booth and this person, they were signing stuff, and you could come there with any word or any phrase, and they would write it in Xi'an. So this means turtle.
Yes, they had him. They had him on during between the different presentations. They gave a little segment to the guy as for the work he's doing. It looked really good. Looked great.
He was the linguist, right, Charlie? I think the linguist.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there was real noodles from the Big Benny's in the market here.
Hey, they want you to show the Big Bennies a little longer, please. You've got to remember, we're changing stuff here a little bit.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if anybody has noticed. Switch to my camera, please.
Hey, Water.
I've got one of those too.
Water, in Austin, they ran out of food on the concessions. How are they doing over there this time?
There's plenty of food still.
Good on them.
It's from the sounds of it, they improved that.
Yeah. Good deal.
So did we get it down the ball?
We're trying.
So
It's like passing really well.
Oh, okay.
it's okay. Don't
worry,
tear the
don't worry,
booth
don't worry
apart.
about it.
We'll tear
Hey, there-
down everything for you.
So there's two questions that they had real quick. One is a request that you guys get a selfie with Chris Roberts with someone wearing something ADI. And then the other was, how were the torpedo burritos?
I had one. I had a torpedo burrito. They were really good, but I'm not sure. There's something with the UK food. It was really good. It just didn't have that much spice, but it was fantastic. It was
Sounds great. Well, we're going to let you guys go and hit the bars and have a great night. I really appreciate you checking in with us right after the con. And we'll continue our coverage of what happened during the con today and give our take on it. So, Waterdrop, Chapcap, and everybody else that is there at the ADI booth, thank you very much. Guys, we're going to do this. All right, I'll let them say goodbye real quick. Goodbye.
All right. Yeah, we're done here, and I'm sure we'll take weeks to analyze all the stuff that CIG dropped on us. Yeah. Goodbye from Manchester and CitizenCon from us.
Yep. Safe travels.
See you later, guys.
Take care, guys.
Take it easy. Okay. That was great. That's the first time we've ever tried to do one of those things live from a remote on a cell phone or on a laptop, and that went pretty well, don't you guys think?
Yes, I think so. Very much.
Okay. So let's go through the last of this. Server meshing should be coming the end of next year, and that should bring in more players per server and better interaction. And, we're already a half hour into this, so let's go ahead and see if we can pick up the pace for these folks and get through the next. Jolly, tell me what you thought of the stealth mission that we're seeing on screen right now.
Well, we talked about that one Turner and I did previously. I think it's a great idea and everything, but and the concept of using stealth is good. Depends on how well the AI respond. There were some comments made during the presentation that the AI will improve. In other words, when you drop a grate, someone should respond to that, as opposed to placing the grate on the ground. And that's good, but I still have my concerns about some of these missions they're looking at in terms of on a live in persistence. And if it goes wrong, just what's going to happen to you? $100,000 credit sounds great and all. It's a good reward, but let's face it. So a day of trading, you're going to make a lot more than that. And so I'm not sure that's the right price. It may have to go up in terms of as an incentive for people to take that higher risk of a mission. So I'm still on mixed feelings on it. I think it's great. I think it's well done. If this was a standalone game, I'd enjoy it immensely. If it's a persistent universe game, I'm not so sure I want that risk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge risk to get thrown in jail and have to get out of jail for an hour. It's just absolutely imperative that they figure out how to get those games so you don't have to do the puzzles, you don't have to do the sneaky sneak if you don't want to.
Right.
Yeah, Jay, one of the things we didn't see is he said, well, we stashed the environmental suit previously, or we have the rover already on station. As a demo, this was fantastic. It didn't really get the feel of a group mission that you would be able to do in a single time setting. It was something that is much more involved.
Yeah, I mean, it sure seems like instead what you would have done is send one guy in to open this back door and then put in a squad of Marines to,
or
make
a platoon.
a platoon or whatever.
It was, I think it was there to demonstrate a lot of the things that they were rolling out, the weather, the AI shuttle, the time of death meter that's there. So I think it's a lot of that kind of stuff. And again, as a demonstration, I think it's fantastic. As a standalone mission, I agree with Jolly. In a persistent universe where I'm going to lose everything, if my one guy that goes in does something bonkers, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, completely agree. That it's just a little bit too much, but it looks cool and it is a good tech demonstrator.
Yeah,
and then,
it's great. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I think everything Turin said. It was a fantastic demonstration of what's out there, what the improvements have come along. Somebody had asked a question: how's the game compared today as opposed to previously? Huge leaps and bounds on gameplay. And I
Oh
would say,
yeah.
in my opinion, I really think it started at 3.0 when they
It-
started
it-
letting us land on a planet and seeing the other aspect of it, just instead of just flying around on a ship. The game really started taking off. It's been improving every single patch since, with the exception of Party Launch and Party Quantum.
which was noticeably absent today of any discussion.
Yep.
well, but that is a specific bug, and maybe they're just not covering it. They did say they were squashing bugs in 3.8, so we can cross our fingers. They did explicitly mention trying to get party group play, quality of life things fixed.
Yep.
So the next thing I want to cover from the final presentation, and we're going to need to go away for just a second so Sam can pull up the footage, is this jump this jump point and how that looked. And my wife has got it on me now. Good. Okay. Sorry. This pyro jump point, I mean, that's everything I imagined when we heard about jump points 5 years ago.
Yeah, I looked at it from a critical eye of when they came up to the initial jump point that was in the Stanton system, the one that's abandoned because pyro itself is well, not very traveled. I just kept going through my mind, oh my gosh, where's security, potential to get jumped at the jump point, so to speak. It was visually and mechanically just amazing. And then when they actually took the leap into the wormhole, for lack of a better term, itself, the fact that you gotta pilot it. You can't there's no autopilot. You got to pilot it, and what happens if it just reinforces the need to have that skill set to be able to do that for these big ships. I mean, just amazing.
Go ahead, Jolly.
I was going to say what Turin was saying. It reminds me of another space game in terms of the jump points. I thought it was going to be I enter the Stargate and I pop out the other end. It isn't. You have a little bit of skill in flying. You have to get between those two. And I'm waiting to see just how that was a pretty lengthy trip that Sam had to make through through that tunnel.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if there are going to be shorter ones, longer ones, the difference between having a large tunnel versus a small tunnel. A large tunnel may be plenty of slop space in there, no big deal. A small one, that's the reason why you want a 315 going through it as opposed to a larger, such as a Carrack. It's a wait and see type of thing on that. And the other thing is, and Turin mentioned it, is the other side you pop out. If you're a pirate, those are good areas to be scoping out and waiting for somebody to pop at the other end and take your pound of flesh from that one. So it's added to the gameplay, which is a positive. It's an aspect I wasn't expecting, but I'm glad it's there.
I'm glad it's there too. And we're on the screen pulling up to this jump gate, whatever they want to call it. You look really vulnerable here as you are powering up and stuff. This does not look like a procedure I want to do under fire.
But I can imagine that those jump gates that are going to be at heavily trafficked areas and the ones that the UEE controls, you'll probably have more security, maybe even some that you would have to have permission to even get up close to. So that very widely range of different type of game mechanics and game dynamics that they could put in with these things. Because you were going on the other side into a known pirate location, I would suspect that it's going to be either not very well secured or secured by the pirate faction that happens to be in that area. So, and that this one being abandoned, again, it fit for their demonstration very well.
Yes, completely for the demonstration. But the thing, if you have to go through one that isn't safe, quote unquote, it looks dangerous. It looks like you're definitely going to want to have security. You put security through on the other side before you bring through your valuable stuff, and you have security on your side protecting you while you're going through.
Yeah, you're definitely going to have to plan out and organize how you're going to go through these points.
And Jacqueline, if we could keep the video up there, so for this, because I don't know if everybody saw this, but this is it is very Stargate-esque.
Actually, it was the most recent Solo movie. There was a segment that kind of reminds me a bit of this too, where you actually have to have some skill to get through. flying through rings in the race game. If you want to
Yes,
practice, I guess is a way to look at it too.
it is. It's definitely wow. They did say it was like kind of riding a rapids, which is just amazing.
Well, apparently, what I heard was that you're being pushed along by the
Yeah.
quantum flow, and it's you having to move the 2-axis up and down, right and left to be able to make it through.
I agree. Okay, and anything else to add on the jump points? Any questions from our viewers? We've got 40 viewers or so right now. Any questions from our viewers on jump points or anything that we didn't answer or anything that you had questions about? Give them a couple of minutes. And I think after this, we're going to talk about, we're going to show them the Carrack commercial and kind of talk about the Carrack. But Pyro, wow. This star system in Pyro is just absolutely amazing. And all the lightning effects. And I mean, that was just, I mean, it's just so pretty.
But the cloud effects was a bigger deal, actually.
Yeah. Well, but the lightning going through the clouds.
Right.
I mean, in that shot right there, it's just absolutely flabbergasting. Yeah, just getting comments that they love the lightning. Okay, well, let's move on to talking about the Carrack. And, I think that the biggest news about the Carrack is they're delaying it until February.
Well, he said 3.8, but 3.8 point, I don't know, 1.2, 0.3, I don't know. It'll be in 3.8, but not the initial 3.8 push.
Yeah, I got the feeling that it's going to come out in a kind of a mid-quarter patch.
I agree.
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead, Sam. And so, but I think there was a lot of hate because they kind of slipped that into a Spectrum post initially. And
but I think Jay, I think to be honest, perhaps, and I guess the guys at Waterdrop and Shap could get a better feel because they were on ground zero down there. But I think a lot of the hate was before they actually saw the Carrack in game and how far along it actually is. To see that
I agree completely.
It's there, and they're trying to get it in its final form with all the damage illustrations and all the bells and whistles and things like that. So to be honest, we've waited this long. What's 2 more months, 2 or 3 more months?
Yeah, exactly.
So I agree completely. And it looks like it got a little fatter there with the, it's got more cargo space than we initially were told.
More cargo space than what a lot of us thought it was going to be, not as much as what some people thought it was going to be.
And
if you're realistic, you never would have bought the 1,000 SCU.
Oh yeah, the 1,000 SCU is ridiculous.
We were talking earlier, Turner and I were talking earlier, we're thinking that 456, I think it was.
You think that there may be some of that for the rover?
It's also based upon an empty rover bay and empty Pisces bay. And that, which case, I can see 456 of that ship, but I don't see 456 plus those 2 items on board.
Yeah, unless there's another cargo bay that we didn't see in the walkthrough. The majority of it's in that rover bay, maybe a little bit in the hangar bay.
Well, there was a whole nother lower bay that they did not go into in the walkthrough.
But I'm looking at that ship, the ship size itself, and I'm like, I'm still not seeing it.
Well, there's some modules underneath that you were able to change out in the initial design that could be the cargo capacity. I think
that's it right there.
If there's add-ons that lead to that, I can buy off that.
Well, I think they come as cargo bays, and then you can switch them out to other things if you don't want the cargo.
Yeah.
If that's where they're going, I would agree.
But if you remember that first elevator he got into, he went up. He could also have gone down.
Yep.
So there's a whole nother cargo bay-ish area down below the rover bay. It looked like.
Yeah, or behind the rover bay.
Or did the rover come in the front?
It did.
Yeah, sure did.
Oh yeah, then it would be behind the rover bay.
Yeah,
You're right. Okay. So I mean, the Carrack looks very pretty, and I don't mind waiting until 3.8.
No, but what really got me was the Pisces.
Oh wow!
That ship is fantastic.
That's like a little Star Trek shuttle. You know?
Was it just me, or did people see the RSI Anvil blend here when you look at these
Oh
things?
yeah, without
You
a
know.
doubt.
I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. We don't have a lot of information yet on it. I'm still waiting to see. They called it a snub fighter, but a snub fighter that does Q drive, I'm not so sure is really a snub fighter. It's just a light fighter. I'm interested what the range is on it. Bear in mind, we tested the Defender. We found out great little fighter, but does not have a big bag of gas and does not last well in the atmosphere. Specifically, it's meant to defend a BMM. So that I understand completely. And it's maybe the same case when it comes to the Pisces. I'll probably pick a couple up. If nothing else, is LTR markers, but and check them out and make sure see how they fly like. But
well,
I liked it.
It looks like it's big enough to be a little 3 or 4 person,
shuttle type of
mission ship. Hey, we're going to go, because it looked like it had a little bit of cargo space in it, right?
I have to wait and see.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know, but from the looks of it, when they walked in the back, it looked like it had cargo grid down.
See, it may be a computer with the Origin 135C, which I did pick up specifically for those type of missions, and I'll do a comparison between the two and figure out which one I want to keep or if I want to get both or not.
Well, but the problem with the 135 is it's one person, right?
Well, is that a problem or is that a positive?
That's true, but it's always kind of handy. I mean, one of these things that we find is that a freelancer and a Cutlass are a little too big sometimes, but you a lot of times want to take a couple buddies with you to go do something.
Okay.
And what ship do we have to do that today?
A freelancer and a Cutlass.
Well, yeah, but if you want to take something a little smaller.
If you don't want to get in your 85X, you only get to carry one guy with you in an 85X.
Right. Well, and no cargo capacity. I mean, we've got the Reliant that we use from time to time.
Well, I gotta wait for the dimensions, but I don't know how much smaller that thing is from a Cutlass.
It looked a lot smaller than a Cutlass.
I gotta wait and see. I gotta see the numbers.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
I would be surprised if it has any cargo carrying capacity at all, really. I don't think that's the function of that ship. I think that function is an away mission function when you don't want to take the Carrack out of atmosphere and land it on the planet, but yet you need a little bit more than just one guy to come out there and do something.
Oh, I agree. I don't think it's a cargo hauler. I'm just saying it looked like it had a cargo grid on the floor.
I mean, a Dragonfly or a Nox or something like that in the back, maybe a couple of bikes.
Yeah,
perhaps.
or just maybe personal cargo boxes, like you go in on a mining mission or something, or you're going to go collect samples, and you put them in that little box and set them down there. I'm not talking about hauling cargo back and forth. I'm just saying it looks like it could be this little mining mission kind of ship where I'm going to go down to this mine. I don't really need a lot of cargo room, just enough for a few boxes, and it carries 2, 3, 4 people safely.
Soon TM.
Soon TM. We'll find out tomorrow, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. I'll take a look at mine.
And we'll also have to see, once we know what the ship specs are exactly, we'll know what'll fit inside the Carrack.
Yep. So I know a lot of guys think about bringing a fighter with them, which is great idea. If you don't bring the Pisces, will Gladiator fit it?
It's possible, but the Pisces also has another variant that has a little bit more armor and firepower to it.
It does. It does. So Microtech, the new planet. And, wow. That was amazing looking at that this morning.
Yeah, it really was.
I mean, go ahead.
You can tell that they put so much time and effort into getting Planet Tech version 4 to be just spectacular visually. And at the same time, making it so that they can replicate that type of technology over the other planets. And the other thing I thought was very encouraging is that they said they went back and they've redone the other planets and the other moons as well.
In 2 months.
In a 2-month time period. Well, when you get the tech where you can replicate it and make it so that, whatever the terminology is, you push a button and it puts it across. You don't have a lot of time. The time is in building it initially and then having it replicate across various different platforms, ecosystems, et cetera, would just be a matter of changing the sliders. I know I'm oversimplifying it, but it was just fantastic looking.
Well, I have a sinking suspicion we're going to start seeing things move quicker in that space. So I think we're going to start seeing, once they have jump points working, I think we're going to see the system expand and expand and expand pretty quickly.
Yeah, and the interaction with the environment, the vegetation, and the weather tech, and the effects on one another was fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm not much for eye candy, but I got goosebumps on, they pulled that tarp down off the rover and it went flying away. That was pretty cool. And then I don't know if you guys noticed, but as he was walking around in that monkey suit, snow was accumulating on the exterior of the suit.
Right.
That was pretty amazing.
Yeah, and I think as the rover went into the Carrack, it still had the snow on the outside. I think if you went back in a few minutes, I wouldn't have been surprised to see puddles of water around the sides of the Carrack. I mean, of the rover as that snow
That may be a bridge too far, but we'll have to check and see. We'll find out here in a few weeks. So, it looks like Port Olisar is also going away pretty soon.
I think it was going away. I was going away as a start point. I thought they were saying.
Yeah, but I mean, revamp is what I meant.
The need for it is not what it is, right?
I think
the game first came out.
Yeah, Jolly. I think what we heard was that its function is going to change, and that it's not going to be like a starting point for. In fact, I heard, and maybe I just misheard. I think there was some way of us being able to set our spawn points. I don't know if that was there. I kind of like got glossed over real quick.
Yeah, I think we're going to cover that here in a minute.
Our home hab, yeah.
Yep. So the no-fly zone rework, that I'm excited about. I'm always deathly scared of coming into Hurston and going a little too low and getting zapped by the bug zapper. Does anybody else kind of feel like that's a bug zapper field that you're running into?
It is. You think it'd be something different than that. I thought they were going to make a change where you almost would bounce off as opposed to die. So I'll see what type of change they come up with.
Then again, my landing at Lorville has been a little bit crazy recently. The last time I did it, my co-pilot powered off the ship. Jacqueline's raising her hands and laughing at me as I was coming in for a landing, and we kind of got all wonky. So, and then, but Microtech is pretty exciting. I can't wait to see what they've done with Hurston and done with Arc Corp. And then the moons. The moons, I think, are going to look a lot better and be a lot more fun with, having to worry about temperatures and things like that. You used to be able to go out on Yella and strip down to, you didn't need a spacesuit since it had O2, but it was, it's an ice planet. Now I have a sinking suspicion that moon is not going to be that hospitable to running around in your skivvies.
No.
It's funny. It's one of the reasons why I bought the digital pack that's offered with the this convention, because I wanted that one suit just in case I need it in the future.
Oh yeah, I might want to go on and grab that. Hopefully it's still for sale. So let's move on to future gameplay. The first one here that we have, and Sam's going to pull up a clip for us about food and water will be necessary. And I think we're going to switch to it here in just a second. Yep, there it's playing next to us. What do you guys think about that, Jolly? I mean, are you excited about having to drink and go to the bathroom and all that stuff?
First and foremost, coffee is life, so that part I understand. but the food, drink, cleanliness, stuff like that, I have no problem with those being part of the game. I remember playing Ark. If you needed to poop, you just walked along and pooped. So hopefully something more than that comes out of Star Citizen. I'm not big on making it too much of the game, though. He did say it's not a matter you have to eat every hour or something like that, but it may be a matter of your character in a 24-hour period when you're online needs to consume something in order to be a part of the game. But I really don't think it's a big part of the gameplay. If they didn't have it at all, I wouldn't mind it at all. I could care less. But I guess they spent all this time designing bathrooms and beds and showers and kitchens and chow halls on the ships. They want them used in some manner. So at least it justifies what that means. But if they didn't have it at all, I could care less. But if they have it in there, I don't mind playing it at all.
Here's my thing. I want to play games to play games, and I don't want to play Star Citizen and have to worry about, did we bring enough MREs for the sniper mission that we're running. That's my big concern about it.
Yeah.
And so I agree. I don't care. I would actually prefer it not being in the gameplay, because I don't think it adds any value to the gameplay itself. It's just an aesthetically pleasing thing. And if they're going to add it, why force me to deal with aesthetically pleasing stuff?
I'm hoping they're going to add it during alpha, give it a play test it, see the pros and cons on it, adjust as necessary. If it's something like I said, with a 24-hour game online period, I need to consume water, I need to eat something, that's fine. I'll just put it on a checklist to get done every time I log on. If it's a matter of I need to go out and scourge for food, I didn't sign up for a survival game. I signed up for a space sim game.
Yeah, I definitely don't want Ark where it's cold and we're running around trying to find food.
Or like it's The Sims and it begins to affect your gameplay to such an egregious percent that you focus now on having to try to find food, water, hygiene versus actually playing
the game.
And I think, and I agree with
agreement.
Jolly. I think they need to decide how they're going to handle the offline time versus the in-game time. When I get back on, I got to go make breakfast before I go fly my ship. Otherwise, I'm going to be hangry and hit the side of the hangar on the way out. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. They've got to tone that down. We'll have to see how it goes, but I'm concerned that the first iteration is going to be too crazy.
Vibrant product, pretty good point though. If they make it an aspect of, if you follow these rules, you improve your gameplay, as opposed to if you ignore these rules, you stay status quo. That's one option to take a look at too.
That too, yeah. But
that would be an incentive.
But then it becomes
incentive.
But then it becomes mandatory so that you have the improvements. So, if you want to RP, then go ahead and drink your coffee. Me personally, I just want to hop out of bed and go fly a ship and shoot shit. So, life support though. Now this I'm excited about, and you should have heard the squeal out of Turing when he saw this. That time to death meter, dude. What's up with that?
Yeah, that was something amazing. It was so small that I really had to look down again. That your body was counting down to death when he was standing out there in the cold, and it just again goes to show the thought behind mixing the environmental conditions with your need to remember and bring the proper, wear gear to survive, and then it puts a no kidding time limit on it. I mean, we up until this time you died because you got shot and you bled out, or shot and killed, or you ran out of oxygen. That was it. Now you've got something else you got to worry about, and it's things that you've got to mitigate because you're going into the environment knowing willingly to do that. So yeah, I was very excited about seeing that.
It's going to make a big difference on kit, and
yeah,
right now we just buy one spacesuit as the uniform and we're done. It's going to, we're actually going to have to start focusing in on, making sure you have all the right kit, which means we're going to have to load kit into ships, right?
Yep.
So that,
and I was looking at it from an operational planning standpoint. You're really going to have to do the analysis that you need to have in order to ensure that your team survives. And it's not just the type of weapons and ships you bring, it's everything else.
So
it's a good point. If we're going to do an operation, Ice Planet Hoth, it's a matter of asking players to come out and participate, but players come out and participate with the right gear, and also those numbers may drop down dramatically.
Yeah, well, and the one advantage that we probably have is that they are probably going to let us keep our money longer. So we're going to just have to run a lot of operations where people are making money, right?
I'm talking about live. During alpha, they take my money, give my money, whatever. I really don't care.
Yeah. Okay, and then so next on my list is new hab locations, and home base. And so, Jolly, you were talking about this earlier, and I think this is going to be a big deal. No longer does everybody start at Port Olisar. You get to pick which starting location you go to.
You're right. Let's look at an organization aspect. Now, individuals, you pick whatever you like. I like Lorville right now. Just my personal opinion. Or Area 18, it's kind of a pain in the butt to fly in and out of. I don't like Hurston's atmosphere. It's wait for 99,000 before you clear of it. That's a pain in the butt. But overall, I do like Lorville. 18, maybe you'll get used to that. I'm sick and tired of Port Olisar. I'm sure most people are too. But we'll wait and see on it. But if look at an organization, I don't care what size, you got a 50-person organization, you may want to look at a concept of, hey guys, we're going to make, Planet X at this station our home base. You can do wherever you want to go extra beyond that, but realize this is where we're operating out of. Right now, no big deal. You got 3 choices. Who cares? But in the future, when they have 20, 30, 40, 50 different choices,
It's
or
gonna
you'll
make
have
a
to
big
consider
deal.
about consolidating where we're going to start these games off at.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest, Microtech is looking pretty
Yeah,
sweet.
and that might be the answer right there. They did mention it has more landing pads than the others do, by far, and so that's a big positive. Negative is you, me, and everybody else may want to go there too, so that's a negative.
That is a negative. We'll have to weigh it, but I definitely agree the org is probably going to have to start on, larger orgs are going to have to start setting a spawn point. Smaller orgs too. I mean, if you're a tiny org, you don't want people spread all over the place.
Yep.
Or you're not going to be able to party up with them, which appears to be a new and big thing.
I just looked at the rest stops as spawn points to be extremely good time savers, because one of the challenges that we have in operating out of Hurston and Area 18 is the fact that you got to travel to the spaceport. Everybody gets together. You got to get up out of atmosphere just to turn around and go right back down to the planet. If you're running bunker missions, things of that nature. So having the ability to spawn at a rest stop, perhaps near one of the areas that you want to run your operation, is going to be a very good time saver.
But
very good point. Very good point.
The question is as they were talking about bringing in these autopilot taxis that are going to be similar to the maglevs. If that happens and you have a taxi that can take you up to orbit and then spawn ships from there to go out, is that not just as good, if not a better solution?
I think you'd still run with the challenge and the time to get to the maglev. I mean, that's almost like taking the tram from the hab to Tisa Spaceport. So it's the fact that you can spawn at the location where you just basically get up and walk right out to the
like
pad
Port
and get
Olisar.
up. Yeah, like Port Olisar, but closer. And it would also give organizations that are larger and have the logistics capability to organize a kind of a pre-op operation to move your people to the right location in these transport aircraft and things of that nature. Hey, get together. Tonight we're going to get together at blank time. 20 people get on a Valkyrie. I fly you out to where you need to go, and boom, we're done. We're all there.
That turns right. Right now, the quickest place to spawn from bed to ship is still Port Olisar. It's quicker than even Grimhex or Levski. Because I have less to deal with, less movement to have to do. So that's one thing to look at the stations, the R&R stations, as a possible hab location. A negative is we're back to limited bays, limited ability to spawn ships out. If you have 20 people show up, and you won't be able to have 20 people show up at an R&R at the same time, or 30 or 40. And so you're going to have hassles with that. So if you're a small organization or you're working solo, it may be perfection to go for one of those. A large organization, or the need to have everybody spawn at the same location at the same time, it could be a negative.
It could be a negative. I agree.
Yeah, agreed.
So next on our list are all the new ship announcements. And,
considerable.
So I've got a list here, and I don't think we're going to show those online, guys. Did I skip over something, Sam?
Nope.
Okay, good. Ship announcements. The Pisces and the Pisces Expedition will go on sale tomorrow morning, U.S. time, afternoon, European time.
Yeah, and I think everybody who has the Carrack will get the vanilla Pisces starting tomorrow.
Good. The Argo Mole, which we didn't really talk about because I didn't see a video on it.
It was a side panel.
It was a slide.
I missed it. Is going to be released in December. It's a three-person or three-laser... Three-person mining vessel. The Drake Cutlass Red is going to be coming out in January of 2020. That is really interesting. The only problem I see is they kind of slipped the medical stuff.
Yeah.
So, I think it's just good.
They didn't talk about it at the con.
They didn't talk about it, which kind of concerns me a little bit. So I'm looking forward to it. I want to have evac ships, but without the medical, help your buddy, fix people up gameplay mechanic, even, being able to jab somebody with a health pin. I'm a little, Medipin. I'm a little so-so on that one. Anvil Karak is coming out in February of 2020. Dates we hope are accurate. And then finally the Prowler in March. And the Prowler is, that stealth mechanic may come in handy, I think. What do you guys think? Any of those ship exciting you at all?
Actually, well, the red people have been looking for. I had a red at one point in time. I pledged it. I changed it over to a black. I'm glad I did. The red looks good though, so wait and see how that. Keep in mind, not only the medical aspect of it, but the docking aspect of the red is a big factor that needs to be taken into consideration. So they'll come up with a ship that's good. You'll be able to fly it. That's good. You'll be able to use it as it's meant to be. I'm not so sure they're going to be there for it. The Carrack, obviously everybody's looking for. Everybody who owns one is looking for it. I do not. I'm reconsidering it now, but it should be enjoyable to have out there. I think it has a lot of uses. It may be that strange. Everyone's talking about I want a ship that can do everything. This might be it. Once I learned of the SCU hold, plus its ability to carry a fighter, ability to, or in this case, the Pisces at least, ability to carry a rover, or that kind of concerns me too. I don't know what its fighting capability is, but it might be that, what I did not think they'd ever develop, and I did not want to develop, the all-in-one ship.
Yeah, it's got some blind spots there. If somebody gets behind you, there's no guns to shoot them.
That's true for anybody.
Well, I mean, it's really true for that particular ship, is what I'm saying. I mean, a hammerhead, you can at least shoot to the rear. Go ahead, Turn. I apologize.
No, I think the ship that in that list that's the most exciting to me is the Argo Mole.
Yeah.
Because here is they already have the mechanic for it. It's the prospector mining mechanic. You have more people you're able to go out and do the mining capability or mining gameplay. I think it's the more fleshed out one of the group. The Prowler, I don't really see the Prowler as a game changer in being able to carry troops. I'm not sure how stealthy the stealth is actually going to end up being. But I think the Argo Mole was the one that excited me the most out of all of them. We've known about the Carrack, we've known about what it's supposed to do or not do, but the Mole was the one that really kind of stood out to me as the left field winner.
Okay, I agree. Yeah. I'm excited about it as well.
I'm looking forward to it too. I've got the Prospector. I enjoy playing with it. I'll probably pick up the Mole. My question is, where can I find a spot where I know I can get the three lasers being used at the same time meaningfully? I'm not sure it's going to exist or not.
Yeah. Well, I know places you can find multiple ship minables now. Whether or not you'll be able to orient your Mole in a way to be able to utilize all three lasers at the same time is questionable.
Yeah. For example, a lot of us will use, when you're doing mining, you're scrolling increase and decrease the power of the laser itself. But you're also separating yourself, bring yourself in to the rock. Now, if there's three of us going on different rocks at different distances, either we have to stay static and go strictly off of our control of our laser, or because we select one and say, look, we'll be able to also adjust the ship's locations from the rock to tweak it. So I'm interested to see how that's going to work out.
Yeah, it's probably going to be more of an asteroid miner than anything else.
Could be, yep.
The way it looks like.
I agree. Okay, moving on to dynamic economy. And I think that there's some, there's a note in here that I think Turing put. that is that you want to go over. So I won't ruin it for you.
Real quick,
Yep.
before you leave that, Jay, I want to there were also announced there are 4 new vehicles coming out. We could probably put it into a link here later on. We don't need to bring it up right now.
Oh,
They don't
I
have
missed
names.
that. I apologize.
They're all industrial in nature, but they should be interesting. It's really almost not worth going through. They're industrial type of vehicles. Like I said, they're not named. I'm sure I have no idea when they're going to come out, but I may put a link in here later on so folks take a look at it if they want to.
Okay. And we're going to talk about the dynamic economy. And Turing, you had this quote in here about something, or was that you or somebody else?
I think it was Jolly that mentioned the spread. You talking about the spreadsheets are going away? Yeah, that was Jolly when we were talking about that when we were watching the dynamic economy, and that spreadsheets are going to go away. And I'm fine with that personally if I can get a hold of the analytics that I was seeing in the demonstration while I'm in game.
Yep.
If I can see the demand economy, because what I've been saying for a long time is that what we're missing with the economy is a demand signal on what needs to be produced and where do I need to take my stuff. So with this new dynamic economy and the ebb and flow that we see, if I can get a hold of those analytics, I'm fine with the end of spreadsheet technology. I think it's actually more beneficial if I do get rid of that. I think if you're running an industrial and manufacturing focus to your organization, if you have a financial focus to your organization, those people who are in charge of that for you are going to be watching this like we watch Wall Street.
Yep.
You're really going to be watching it closely. The other thing that struck me was it's not only the dynamic economy, but it's the impacts of the AI and NPC play that on that economy. More pirate interdictions, more it impacts the economy. It's intuitive, but it was interesting to see that they fleshed it all out, and it almost looked like a separate game that they were playing. I mean, you could release that tomorrow. I think I saw in some place it said, "Hey, call it Freelancer 2." I mean, it was just you could make that a standalone, maybe an app for my phone or something like that. I mean, it was just amazing.
Yeah, I agree. That actually was one of the more exciting things I saw was what he was going through. The demonstration, that was probably the best demonstration the entire day, to be absolutely honest, in terms of the amount of information they're providing to us. Literally, if you want to be, gone are the days where, I'm playing this Saturday, I'll just go to Aerial, pick up some titanium and drop it off at Laurelville and ta-da, 17,000 credits. It ain't going to happen anymore. You're going to have to go ahead and getting back to spawn points related to that, you're going to want to be able to spawn in a location that has this type of information. And so,
right.
I'm looking at, again, I'll look at Area 18 is great for it. Laurelville is great for it. Maybe I want to spawn at Laurelville. And the first thing I do if I want to make some money today is I wander down to the Central Commerce District and I take a look at the boards. What is buying and selling for what at what locations? And that information needs to be provided to us. Like Turin said, if they don't give it to us, this is all garbage and a waste of our time. If they're going to give us that information that we can get a hold of, and who knows, also as Turin said, somebody may come up with an app for it. After all, we did it with the My Radar folks. There may be something coming up from Forbes. Who knows? But that information is part of the game. And if you want to be a real commerce pilot, you have to start doing that stuff.
And Jay,
go ahead. Turin,
if I could just throw in what I thought was encouraging is that the mechanics they were using, it doesn't take a whole lot to allow organizations to utilize the same mechanics, i.e., I'm going to put a factory here. I'm going to do this type of work.
Where can I put a factory to make money?
Because one of the things that I've heard in talking with others is that the player-run economy means what to me right now? Okay, I'm moving aluminum from one place to the other. What's the purpose other than make cash for me? Here is a way that they can up the level one more so that organizations have the ability not only to make cash but to make things for their orgs. And so it's just exciting. I don't know if they're going that way, but it allows them to do that.
I agree completely. And you even see a role for if this information is only available in game for a while or forever, you could definitely see a role of spawning for lack of a better terms, an ops guy in at one of the locations that does have live pricing data and acting as the air traffic controller for the orgs, the org's operations to try to make money, right?
Yeah, I don't want to end up to where we have an EVE Online like experience where we have people sitting at JITA and doing nothing but buying and selling and looking after. I mean, if that's how you want to operate your way in the Star Citizen universe, I guess it's okay. But I think it needs to be a
Oh
little
no,
bit more than
I
just that.
I think it would be somebody sitting and going, "Hey, there's a really good price on X between Y and Z. Go get it."
Oh
Kind of
yeah,
thing.
I
That
think
that
for
is what
yeah,
I'm talking
sure. I
about.
think for CNT and other, other commerce-driven organizations, this is going to give them their incentive to play. I mean, to be honest.
And I'm gonna actually defend those who look upon trading. I had a friend. I played E2, and I had a friend who that's all he wanted to do. He just wanted to trade. He just used all his ships to commerce, relatively safe space or safe space, and made millions of ISK just because and he enjoyed it. That's the game he wanted. And
Yep.
this will allow, if you're a player of Star Citizen and that's what you want. If you want to be a pirate, you can be a pirate. If you want to be a rich mogul, now you can be a rich mogul by tracking the market. So I'm glad they're doing it. Like I said, all of us so far are very positive on this change.
Yeah.
It's going to be a challenge for some of us who don't have that attention span necessarily, but I'm glad they're coming out with it. And if you're one of those players that really wants to make credits in Star Citizen, I think this is going to be your opportunity.
Well, the accountant in me just went bananas.
I could tell. So now, guys, quick, we're going to move on to. We have two more topics that we're going to cover. We're running a little long, but I want to cover both of these because I think they're really important. Definitely this last one. And I know this last one's going to be a little controversial to a certain extent. So, if you have questions, comments, go ahead and get them in. Nova has a question real quick. I'll let Turing answer. Isn't the info about prices have to be updated by info runners between systems? And I think
that's a good question. It appeared from the demonstration that the answer to that was no. It seemed like they had the ability to pull it in a dynamic real time. Think of when you go to Lorville and you go to the big trading floor and you see all the screens, etc. I think that's going to be one place, and they'll probably regionalize it that you'll be able to get that info from. But I do see that there could potentially be gameplay for those who want to do information type missions or information warfare or information trafficking to utilize this type of dynamic economy. But I think initially it's going to be one where you can go to either kiosks or some central location and be able to pull the regional data from that location.
Well, and keep in mind the software that they showed us was only showing a single system, so maybe
Correct. Yeah.
Maybe there is a delay outside of that system, but it looked like the data in the system they were in was live or near real time.
Yeah. So. Now, if I'm in Pyro and I want to know what's going on in Stanton, I may have to have somebody carry me the information, but inside of Stanton, I should be able to find it.
Agree completely. Okay, so we've got our next topic, but before we go on to that, again, folks, if you have an opinion, question, comment, get them ready. We're going to do a question, comment section, answer people's questions here. We've got two more items that we know, one of which is a big ticket item that we're going to spend some time on, but we're running a little long, and we want to wrap up here in the next 20 minutes or so. So the next item, Jolly, is kind of the lead on, and that is Theater of War.
I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I know a lot of folks may not be happy with SC RSI diverting attention from SC over to this side game, but I think it's a nice aspect. Bear in mind, they're using technology and design that's already out there, and so why not go ahead and give us a chance to do it? It was pointed out it's a 30-minute game. Right now, if I want to play Star Citizen and make some credits or run some missions, whatever the case may be, I'm just locking myself in for an hour or two of gameplay. If I want to do 30 minutes, then so be it. But here's my am I going to be able to, it's going to be like a BF1 or Squad where I just jump in with a bunch of people I don't know. Communication's going to lack. We're always going to be helter-skelter, no real organization. They showed the game as if it was a well-organized, coordinated effort going up, whatever the case would be. I have my doubts that's going to actually happen. But if there's a way where I could schedule with my organization, hey, let's get 40 of us together. We'll all go into the game together. we'll all be on the same team together, and we'll execute this operation, I think that would be fantastic. But barring that, I have some concerns. It may just be a nice pastime, and that's about it.
Now, I'm going to be negative Nelly here. I think it is a complete, total waste of dev time. Why on earth create Battlefield 5 or whatever you want to call it, gameplay? This is more Star Marine. It's more Arena Commander. It's just, fix the PU, focus on the PU, get party stuff working in the PU, and gameplay will take a place in the PU. This whole knife fight and telephone booth mentality that some of the devs have, I think, is just way off base. So I'm very negative to it. I'm sure I'll get sucked into trying it once or twice, but it'll be like Star Marine. I play it for, an hour and then I go, nope, never coming back in here again.
Well,
So I am thumbs down on Theater of War. I think it was a huge mistake to waste a minute on it.
I don't know if they really wasted dev time on this. I think this was something taking stuff that's already out there by the devs, and they simply offshot it into a little side note game, and that's it. So I'm not too concerned about that aspect of it. You want to know what I think devs waste time on? Creating a hologram that tells jokes. Okay.
Yes, I agree. That's a waste of time too.
Or a bartender that can serve you drinks.
Yes.
Yes, I think that's a waste of time as well. But what I'm saying is even though they didn't have to build a lot of new assets, it took time to program this. It took lots and lots and lots of man hours to program this. It may not have required a lot of art. It may not have required a lot of, map building, but it took a lot of programming to do party matching and all of that stuff. Just like Space Marine was a big waste of time. And let's be honest, the stuff that we could do in Space Marine still isn't in, they still haven't, combine those two together where features in both are equal. It's just been a complete waste. And I see this as the same thing. They're going to find some problem. They're going to do something. And, and then that mechanic will get fixed in one and won't ever get migrated to the other.
My final defense for Theater of War, if you notice it in the video, is rocket launchers. If that is all I get out of it, so be it.
We'll put them in the PU then.
I mean, supposed to start somewhere.
Yeah. So, okay. So, Turing, break the tie. I'm negative Nelly on this.
I'm semi-positive.
You're semi-positive. Turing, where do you fall on this?
I fall with the fence post right up the middle. I think it's just like Jolly is saying. I think it's a way to offer a different type of gameplay, keep people interested. For those who do like first-person shooter, I'm not one of those. I'll do it, but I'm not good at it. But it is something that if I don't want to spend 2 hours, and I think Jolly was being very generous. If you're going to run cargo or you want to do something, it's almost a 2.5 hour, 3 hour kind of thing to really make it, effective. It's a way to keep people interested, and it's just a different aspect of it. If they were building it toward a replacement for Star Marine, I would be more inclined to support it.
I think they should just axe Star Marine and Arena Commander while they're at it and get rid of this crap too.
But I'll need somebody to surgically remove that fence post from me, please.
I'm serious. I think, they have just fixed the bugs that you have and you'll get more party gameplay. And I think it's a sugar rush. I think it prepares people for Stars. If you want Star Citizen to be something where you hop in and you could play for 30 or 40 minutes or an hour and then hop out and accomplish a lot, then make PU do that. Make it smaller or make the time distance that it takes to get from point A to point B to be quicker or something like that. Don't waste it, because here's the thing. Everybody's going to get addicted to, I get in, I shoot stuff, and then I get out. And nobody is going to want to play the game where it takes an hour to get to the place where you get to shoot stuff.
Well, I would also say, look, this is with the games in alpha. When it goes beta or final, I think Arena Commander will disappear, Star Marine will disappear, and this will disappear, and we'll just be down with Star Citizen. That's it.
And I agree.
Jolly, they'll merge, and you'll have an arena area that you go to do this type of mission when you're there.
Yeah, exactly. And Jay, I'll tell you right here, because tell me for a fact. I know it's true for me. We've been playing this game. You've been playing it since 2013. I've been playing since 2014. We dropped interest and start. I've gone 2 months, 3 months without playing the damn game.
Well,
All right, so I've
I
dropped.
can tell you.
No. The idea is if they keep us interested in the game, one way or the other, then it's good for it. And sure enough, something new comes along with SC. Right now, I'm playing 3.7 quite a bit, and I'm sure it'll be played for everybody. But I don't know. 3.7.3, I might get bored again and leave it for another month or two.
And here's the only reason that I'm not playing every, 5 times a week. Quantum linking bug.
Well, I play solo too. It doesn't bother me.
Well, I don't. I like playing with people. I want to play with other folks, and that is the big limiting factor from my perspective. So I would be playing. My interest wanes because I can't go in and run missions with 40 other people.
No, I can't with 40, but I joined 3 or 4 of the guys and play the game.
Yeah. Well, but even still, if you're going to do that and you're going to go do bounty hunting and you're crashing every other jump. And the other problem is the interdictions. You go and you try to fly from point A to point B and you get interdicted 12 times.
Yeah, well, that's a big proof. They have improved that quite a bit. I
They have. But my point is that those are the things, if you think about the man hours it would have taken to fix those 2 problems, it would have been a fraction of what they spent on Theater of War. 100th, 200th of the man hours.
I don't know. Not being a dev, couldn't tell you. Don't know what new is involved.
But being the IT guy, I can tell you, they if they put 1 hour into Theater of War, they put 1,000 man hours into it.
I have no idea.
So, because they said they had been working on it for months, and that team has to have 20 people on it. So, that's a lot. That's hundreds, if not 1,000 hours. So,
Or were they devs with the skill set needed in order to fix the other problems you're talking about?
now there's a fair argument there. I agree, but we need to, from my perspective, fix these game-breaking bugs before you start adding new nice-to-haves into the game. That's my only take on it.
Strongly agree, and I'd say that's the reason why players need to get into the game on the website and prioritize your write-ups as what you think is broken.
I agree completely. Okay, so we've beaten that horse to death, but that's my opinion on Theater of War. I'm sure I'll get suckered into playing it because it may be, especially if they will allow us to form a 40-person party and jump in on one side.
I'm all for it.
Then we probably will use that, but I'm not a big Battlefield fan, and I see this becoming just basically Battlefield, Space Marines, and quite frankly, I think it's a waste of resources. But just
negative
my opinion.
Vibes, man. Negative vibes.
I know. I've got some negative ones on this one. Okay, moving on to our last thing, and then we're going to take questions for about 5 minutes or so, or discussion points from our audience. Here's another one. This one I actually, it looks like it didn't take any dev time really, or very minimal, and that's the Galactopedia. What did you guys think of that? And I think Sam's got it up on the screen.
Sure, you're first because I'm going to say something on this.
Okay, well, I like it in the sense that I do like to learn more about the lore, more about the places, et cetera, et cetera. If I could get to the information in game, perhaps I would like it better. If you could link it so that I'm at an MFD station and I can pull up the Galactopedia and I can in real time get some info, some intel, something like that. But from a need to have, it's fluff.
One second.
But it's good fluff.
Sam, can you go ahead and start clicking around in this a little bit and showing us some of the pages?
Oh yeah, please do. Yeah. No. Go to the search feature.
Go to the search feature.
Here's my complaint. It sucks. Okay.
The search feature sucks. I agree.
You imagine having an encyclopedia, nice big encyclopedia. All right, that's big, and you get 3 pages in it. That's what this currently is. That's what it currently is. Maybe it'll grow into something else, but also at what cost and how much time, as your point, Jay, to developers. Okay.
I agree.
I
The
literally
community
went
could
in,
do this better.
did a search looking for specific items, and I couldn't find them. Came up blank. And it's like, well, you know what? Google does a better job than this does. So I'm not sold on this at all.
And I think that's a good point, Charlie, is who is deciding what goes into Galactopedia?
Well, it looked like it was the linguist folks and the
well, it could be that
folks.
it's the lore team who's fleshed out everything they need to flesh out, and they need to have a job. I don't know, but
yeah.
All right, hey Sam, it's Jolly. Real quick, here's a task. I want you to use the search feature. Find me the name of the current leader of the UEE.
He can't hear you. He's
just
he's
type
not
in
got a
Emperor
headset on.
Pass it on to him.
He wants you to find the name of the current leader
damn
of the
UEE.
UEE, just the leader.
UEE leader. There you go. That's good. That should do it, right? Ah, look at that.
It doesn't show.
Nothing.
They haven't tagged the stuff right. I agree. I apologize. We needed a little device to have both Sam and Jaglin on Mumble, and it didn't get in time. So Sam is unfortunately, what is it here now? It probably is. It was supposed to get delivered before 6:30 Central Time, but it's not here yet, or wasn't as of when we went live. Okay, so that's it. Let's go to the folks. Anybody have any questions, comments, things that they want us to discuss really quick before? This has been a really long. We have even more stuff we could cover, but it's 2 hours after the event, and I know some folks want to go to sleep or go play some Star Citizen, and I know Jolly and I and Turing probably want to eat some dinner because it's been a crazy day watching all this stuff for you guys.
Frost's question, real quick. I like Frost's question quite a bit.
Go ahead, you take it.
Oh, he's talking about the difference of the new Kraken Privateer as opposed to the Kraken that's been out there. And the Privateer is going to be offered up. I'll try to bring up, I could have sworn I'd get myself a link to that. And I know we think a privateer, normally thinking of a pirate. Privateer is a legal pirate, is the way I like to look at it. In other words, it's okay to do what you're doing as long as you're doing it for us. Please, I have that link here somewhere.
Is it a different ship, or is it just a terminology on the ship?
But there are different stats on it, and I'm not. Finding it? I'm not finding it. Damn it!
And how much are they selling this ship for?
Don't know yet. I don't know yet. But basically, you're giving up SCU. The privateer is going to be 10 customizable shops. So think of it as if actually could be a mobile base as opposed to an aircraft carrier or a ship carrier, what the case would be. 768 SKU of cargo, as opposed to the Kraken's way too big, in my opinion, 3,700 or plus. It has that much cargo on the regular one? Privateer will not have. Personally, I think the privateer, I might actually prefer a privateer over a Kraken, period. I honestly think when it comes to that modification ability of the privateer versus the regular Kraken, I really think that's going to be one hell of a ship.
So is it an either or? You could have it with cargo, or you could have it with shops? Or
no. Which ship do you want? You want a Kraken, or you want a Kraken privateer? I think the privateer is going to give you a lot more flexibility for what's out there.
Except it's not going to have any cargo.
It's not going to have the cargo. Well, but I'm sorry. Personally, I think 768 SKU is good cargo hold.
Yeah, but 3,700 is massive.
You got to use your Kraken as a cargo carrier.
Well, you might have a lot. You might have a lot of needs for bombs and missiles and bullets and spare parts on it.
Sure, no argument there. But I got 768 SKU I can put in there too.
That's true.
And I'm not really looking for the privateer to be a fighter. I mean, be the carrier. I think it's a mobile base.
That's exactly how it was being shown in the game today. In the dynamic economy demo, was that privateer was the base in which those pirates were flying out of.
Hold on one second.
Hold on. Yeah, Kalania, and how many ships can I land on a BMM versus how many ships can I land on a Kraken privateer?
0. That's the difference. Yeah. One is mobile in space. The other
privateer is still a carrier.
Yep. You could still have people come and land on it. I do agree that that's an interesting feature. As many as you want once.
No, it's not
definitely not a replacement for the merchantman.
No, I completely agree with that comment.
So, any other questions, comments out there? If not, then we'll go ahead and give our closing thoughts. Okay, I'm giving them just a few seconds. Jolly?
I was kind of hoping for a little bit more of a release of new ships out there. I'm glad the Pisces is coming out. That's great. I'm glad the new information that's coming out there is great. But I really thought, compared to last year's release of the Kraken, the Valkyr during the convention, I kind of thought I'd get something more out of this. Not a big deal. I personally thought a lot of time was spent on development of planets and how really good it looks. I'm really happy about it. But I also believe the best presentation the entire day was the second to last one. No offense to Chris. We went over how the game itself is developing. We learned about the economy. We learned about why are we getting interdicted so much, and how do we get interdicted? How do we avoid that? All of it made perfect sense to me. And I really appreciated the information.
I agree. Turing, what did you think of today?
Well, I learned not to let Jolly talk before me, but
because he takes all the good stuff.
but I tend to agree. I think one of the other things that struck me was what they didn't talk about. The items that are on the roadmap that they didn't mention. We've already touched a few of them. The medical play being one. You heard absolutely did squatty about salvaging. Nothing. At least I didn't hear about it.
No, I agree. Neither were mentioned.
So I think it's very telling the things that they didn't talk about. Now that just may be that they're holding that back in order to surprise, continue with the surprise reveals, et cetera. But I was surprised about that, and I will second the opinion that the dynamic economy presentation to me was the heart of CitizenCon this time around. It really showed that they have put a lot of thought and effort in how they want to move forward with the economic play, the interaction, the depth in which they want the AI-driven actions to drive gameplay. So I was very excited about that.
I think I agree completely. One thing they also didn't mention is somebody commented here, Noromus, no talk of Squadron 42.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
That's a little bit, I thought for sure we would see a trailer or something.
Well, outside the group mission that had the same dynamics of taking the grade off and moving it someplace else and going through the tunnels that you saw in Squadron 42, that was the only thing I saw.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Save it for LA.
Yep. So speaking of LA, which is my closing thought, going around the thing, Jolly, am I going to see you in LA this time next year?
Unless I'm on my deathbed, yeah. Which should I be the 50-50?
Well, let's hope not. Turing, do you think we might see you out in LA next year?
I am working very hard to be out there. Yes.
Good.
Absolutely.
I think we're going to try to take Hangar Ready there and do the show multiple times from LA, pre-show and then after show kind of thing. So I'm excited. Folks, I want to, first off, before I do anything else, I want to give a huge shout out to Jaglin and 5 a.m. They have been troopers today dealing with me being a difficult person, and they have run the board and everything else absolutely wonderfully. If I keep my hands away from my microphone. Sam here has done so much to get the show up and running and get it off. And my wife, beautiful wife, Jaglin, has also been doing a lot to get this done. They've worked all week getting everything set up and all the kinks worked out. And I think other than me having my microphone a little bit too close to my mouth, we had a pretty error-free show. And we pulled in somebody from Manchester from their cell phone, and it sounded good. So they deserve a lot of props.
Yep.
Obviously, a lot of props to my co-host, who's always here, always keeping me honest and helping me out.
So I always have to be here?
Yeah, you're stuck with it. I got you the T-shirt for a reason. Jolly, and then brand new co-host, which Turing, you've got to come back. You did such a good job.
Yep.
You give me a T-shirt, I just might.
I think we might be able to. You might be able to twist my arm a little bit there.
Replacement.
Yeah, it's a good placement. But you do have a very cool T-shirt on that Sam designed. already from Atlas Defense Industries. Turing, we didn't mention this, we normally do. Turing is in our S3 operations and planning shop, and he is kind of the assistant director who's running our leadership training program and getting it off the ground, and he's been kicking butt at that. So, the guys that we have around here are in ADI, and the guys helping out on this show are just second to none. Closing thoughts. Jolly, anything you want to say to our viewers before we wave goodbye?
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for enjoying the show, and always send your questions whenever possible.
Yep. Right. Turing, how about you?
Nope. Glad to be here. Look forward to coming back again.
Great. Great show, guys. Thank you very much. We'll see. We're not having an episode in December, so because everybody's got Christmas plans, we will be back in early January 2020 with our next episode, which will be a recap episode where we're going to get Waterdrop and ChapCap on here and talk to them about all the dirty details of CitizenCon. Thank you. We'll see you in the verse.